So today we're going to have a look at page 3, which is also page 10, and is this lovely double slider. This one isn't decorated. The one we'll be doing today is decorated. So we're going to have a go at this first of all. So this is page 3, and as I say, you'll have one in your pack for page 3 and also for page 10, or just for another page. So you've got your base piece here, which is the same size as all the others. So that's 7 3/4 by 5 3/4. And then you've got your matting pattern at 7.5 by 5.5. So we're going to put that together first. Again, you've got two sides. You can choose which side you want to use. So I'm going to go for this one. So a bit of glue around the outside, and then that goes onto there like that. I'm just going to centre that up a little bit, and then now if anyone was interested in the glue, this is Tonix glue. It's the Nuvo Deluxe Adhesive. It's the best glue I've found. I'm sure there are other glues out there, but some of them have quite a smell to them. And personally, that's my go-to glue. And also the card that you'll find in your pack is 240 GSM. Unless you're buying a later pack, and I cannot get 240 GSM anymore, so it'll be slightly thicker than that. Okay, so we're going to put that to one side. So in your pack, you will have a larger rectangle, a smaller rectangle with the 4 corners missing, 2 other rectangles, 3 pieces of patterned paper, a dumbbell looking thing like that, and a piece of cellophane. Okay, so we're going to start with the long rectangle. Now you have to look quite closely at this, but what you will notice, and you may not be able to see, but you'll see in your pack, is that there are 2 tram lines in the middle, and then there are 2 tram lines at the edge. And we've got to fold all of those. So we'll start with the centre ones because they're a good practice one. You've got plenty each side. I always put my 2 middle fingers underneath, and that gives me some stability. And then I'm not folding, I'm just rolling it onto the first of those 2 creases. Now this is a bit of a fiddle, and I know when we do it at workshops, when I say we're going to make a double slider, everybody groans, but actually once you've done a few of these, they're very effective, so they are worth doing when you've done it. But this bit does take a little bit of working out. And then you're going to do the same thing with your second fold. So just gently roll it, going along from the middle, always from the middle out. Okay, the reason we do that is so that if you get a mistake, you're not going to just accentuate it all the way along the line. And then when you're happy that you've got a slight rolling curve, then you can go along and pinch it into place. So I am now going to just gently burnish both of those lines. So what you're creating, I'll show you, is a tiny spine along there. And then you've got these 2 at this end. Now these are slightly more difficult because you haven't got much on the other end to play with. So we're going to do the first one, gently pushing it into place until you think, yep, I've got that curve, I've got that bend, and then you can just go along pinching it between your fingers. Don't do any more than that until you've done the second one. So then we come in and we roll around our fingers again until the second one's in place. And then always from the middle out, just pinch it out, and then you can just gently burnish that one and the first one so that you create a spine. Okay, so that's the first bit done. So you've created what's actually a little jacket. Okay, so then you've got the one with the 4 little corners cut away. And again, you may not be able to see it on mine, but you'll be able to see it on yours. You've got double tram lines again. So we're going to repeat again because it was so much fun the first time. So we're going to go along, pinch it. Now for these, I really wouldn't go above 240 GSM. So although I can't get hold of 240 GSM at the moment, I am keeping a few bits aside for things like this, because trying to do this with anything more than 240 would be impossible. So I'm just bending that second one up from the middle, start to pinch it out. When I'm happy, quick burnish, and the second one. Quick burnish, and burnish from the middle out as well. So we've got that little spine, and then we're going to do the same on this side. So I'm doing this one a little bit quicker, okay, by doing both the folds at the same time. Right. Strictly not the best way to do it, but I have made quite a few of these, so I'm fairly confident in getting the line correct. And I should never ever say that, because that will be the point at which I get the line wrong. So I'll just go along, burnish that second one into place. Okay. So you might want to stop the video at this point so that you can finish doing those, because they do take a little bit of time the first time. I should perhaps put a little bit of music or something on here, but we'll move on. Okay, so now this is really difficult for you to see because it's cellophane, but I'm going to do something with the cellophane which should hopefully make things much easier for you. You will need a little bit of double-sided tape for this. So I couldn't put double-sided tape in, I'm afraid, but you will need a little bit of double-sided tape for this one. And you will also just need to measure. Cutting cellophane is really difficult. It needs to go around, so here's your 3 section. It needs to go around this middle section. So you've got the little narrow section and the other big section. It needs to be able to go around without touching either of the hinges. Okay. Doesn't matter if it's not absolutely straight, but you don't want it going near the other hinges. So you need to have a little space between those 2 hinges. Okay. So then what you're going to do is you're going to put a piece of double-sided tape across the top of one end of your cellophane. Now, the important thing is with this that no glue must touch between the cellophane and the black card. So you can see, well, you can't, but you have to take my word for it. There's a little bit of cellophane either side of my glue tab. There's also a little bit at the top, which I don't really want, but it's easier to put it on and then just cut that little bit off. So I'm just going to trim that. So you don't want to be absolutely tight up to the glue, but only really a millimetre showing above. Okay. Then you're going to lay it down with this at the top. Take off the carrier, and then you're going to feed the cellophane round. Now, this is the bit that comes with time and judgment, but you don't want it so tight that the cellophane won't roll. But you also don't want it loose so that you've got baggy knickers. Okay, so you just want it loose enough so that the cellophane will roll, but not so loose that you've got loads of baggy at the either end. Okay, so making sure that your cellophane rolls, you're then going to cut off your flappy bit of excess. Okay, so I'm just going to take off the flappy bit of excess because we don't want it. Okay, so you've now got a cellophane jacket that rolls. Okay, it'll probably just be a little bit jumpy where the glue is, but that's fine. Okay, so it's not too baggy, but it's not so tight that it won't roll. So what you're going to do next is over the top of that initial tape, I've got a bit there I'm going to have to cut off. If you can feel, I've got a bit there that's sticky, and you really can't have any sticky. So I'm just going to cut my cellophane. Your cellophane's not going to show, so if you have to make adjustments, just make adjustments. All right, you can't have any sticky. Okay, so there's no sticky there now at all. Because the cellophane isn't absolutely straight, it sometimes won't meet. So you're going to put another piece of tape over the top. Again, please make sure it doesn't go right to the end of the cellophane. Nothing must stick between this and this rolling. And again, you're going to remove the carrier, and this time you're going to take one of your other rectangles, and with your glue at the top you're going to stick your rectangle on. Try and get it as straight as you can. Okay, so you've now got one part of your pulley. Okay, so keeping the glued bit at the top, you're going to flip this through 180 degrees. So the glued bit, the bit you've glued down, is at the top. Flip it towards you 180 degrees. So the glued bit is now underneath at the bottom. You're now going to put a bit of tape at the top again. Again, making sure it doesn't go over the edges of the cellophane. Again, remove the carrier, and then you're going to put the other one on top of that. Let's give it a good stick down. Okay, so now you've got a flappy bit on there and a flappy bit on there, and when you pull them, they will roll. Okay, so the first one, glue at the top, 180 degrees towards you, glue at the top, put the second one on. Right, again, if you need to stop it at any time, I said stop the tape, don't I? That just shows my age. You want to stop the video at any time and go back over the instructions. That's the joy of doing it like this. Okay, so we're now going to have it so that our folds, this fold folds in. So we're going to encase one of our flaps like that. So we're going to fold the small flap in, keep the glue to the minimum, okay, because you don't want any leakage, you don't want anything leaking out because it will stop the mechanism from working. And we're going to glue that over the top. So we've encased one side. Just give that a moment. But this side is still flapping freely, and we don't want any flapping freely. So this is where this other bit comes in that you folded. So what you're going to do is you're going to put a little bit of glue along that glue tab. Now, I do mean a little bit of glue, and make it go right in the middle. So not to the edge, either edge, in the middle. Hope you can see that. Okay, and just a little bit. Because what you've got to do now is you've got to get your finger between that main mechanism and the plastic, the cellophane, because that flap has got to go down between the main mechanism and the cellophane without touching the cellophane. Okay, and this is why you want just a tiny bit of glue. We're just going to make sure that's well and truly stuck. And then we're going to do the same with the other side. So we're going to put a little bit of glue on the top of this flap along the middle so that it's not going anywhere near the edge. Let it drop down for a minute while you get your fingers. So there's your flap, there's your cellophane, and you're going between the cellophane and the main mechanism. And the easiest way to do that, I've found, is to line that up with that and then just slide it in very gently so that it avoids the cellophane. And then we're just going to press that together. And then what we should be able to do is find the flappy edge of that and the flappy edge of that and pull. And you can feel it's a nice smooth mechanism. Okay, now the key to this, I hope you can see, when you pull it, one pulls from the top and the other pulls from the bottom, okay, because you've got one each side. The top one, obviously it can be that one, or if you turn it over it'll be that one. I want it to be this one. You're going to take this little dumbbell, you're going to fold it in half. It doesn't have a natural fold, so you'll have to fiddle and diddle about with it a bit. Okay. Fold it in half, and then you're going to glue inside the whole thing. And then find the centre, glue the two circles either side and press so that you've got a little pull and it's on the top one. If it's on the bottom one, when it's in the book and you're trying to pull it out, you can't grasp this. And this is what, again, why I use the dumbbells, because you only need something very small to hold on to. Anything too bulky and it's really hard to get your fingers underneath. So the little dumbbell, this is not it's made what it's really meant for, but I found it the most useful thing for this. So you want the top bit with your dumbbell so that you can pull it down. You can have it go in that way if you want, but I usually go for a down pull. Okay, so it's going down. You're going to put one of your decorative panels on the top of the whole thing. Like this. Now when you come to doing the other two decorative panels, one will fit and one won't. Okay, so you pull those out. One of them, not that one of them will slide in very nicely and will fit exactly. So we'll do that one first. The other one, because of the way the cellophane is positioned, won't. So that one will slide in and will fit exactly. Again, you can turn these over and use the other side if you want, if you don't want the same papers as on the top. This side won't fit. Don't push it right up to the cellophane because you don't want anything that's going to stick. So pull it out as far as it will go, but then leave a little border and then trim off the excess that you don't need. Okay, you would probably use a pencil and draw a nice neat line, but it doesn't matter because I'm actually going to turn it round that way anyway so that I've got the nice neat line at the edge. So I'm going to glue this one on like so. So I've got a little border. Mine isn't probably as neat as yours will be because you will use a pencil and a trimmer rather than just chopping with a pair of scissors. Okay, so now the whole thing slides in and out, and you're now going to put it onto your card, and you can see because that's at the top and it's small, you can grasp it. Okay, so one of the things I do quite often, which I haven't done for this one, is I use the small Cool Cats photo slot die, and I put photo slots. So this this particular double slider is a Cool Cats die, but I know lots of people do slider dies. Okay, so that is now ready to go into your book, and that is page 3, and then you would repeat that with the other one in your pack and put that wherever you wanted to put it. So, but it's marked, I think, as page 10. Yes, page 10. Okay, so we'll just go around there. And we'll lift that up so that we know we're in the right place. We're centred. And then we'll go round. And as best we can, we'll burnish that in. Okay. So that is your page 3. And your page 10, and that really is one of the wow pages in a memory book. Oh, that's it, wrong angle. Okay, so the next one we're going to do is a really quick page, and when I'm doing workshops I always put a catch-up page. So this is the catch-up page, and for this I have used my We Are Memory Keepers pocket maker. So if you've never seen one, I'll just show you it. So this is the We Are Memory Keepers pocket maker, and you can make pockets of various sizes. So I've cut you one out of this size. So, very, very simple page. Same thing, you've got your page base, you've got your pattern paper. Again, you could choose which side you want to use. So I'm going to use this side. So this is page 4 and again page 9. So I'm going to pop that onto there, like so. I love this sort of snowy pattern. And again with this is double-sided. Unfortunately, for some of them, the pattern's going the wrong way because I deliberately chose that side. So some of them aren't double-sided unless you particularly wanted to have your pattern going the wrong way. I suppose you could have it, if you did it that way, you could have your little wallet going that way. That might look quite nice. Yeah, that would look quite nice. I'm going with it this way. And it's really simple. You've got your score lines. So fold and burnish. And you've got one at the bottom. Bring that up. Fold and burnish. Then fold one flap over. Put a little line of glue along that edge. On the open edge, put a line of glue along that edge, so that when you bring them together, you've got 2 lines of glue which will hold that firm. Burnish that. A little bit of glue along here. Fold that up. Burnish that into place, and then you've got a lovely little envelope pocket. So you can have it straight, you can have it jaunty, completely up to you. I think I'm going to go a bit jaunty this time. So glue on the back of it. You don't want all the gubbins to show, and then just pop that on there. Give it a good rub, good burnish. The more you burnish these creases, the flatter your envelope will be. And that's just a really simple, as I say, on the workshops I always have a catch-up page, and that's a catch-up page. So that just goes in there like that. It's also important when you've had a bulky page and a couple of bulky pages to have a flat page. Otherwise your book just will be far too bulky. So, a bit of glue on the back of that. And we'll pop that one in, lift that up. Always lift it up so that you don't stick it to the page. Underneath, you've got quite a nice big border around these pages. Okay, so that goes in like that. That goes around like that. And you've now got pages 3, 4, 10 and 9. I was trying to think then. Yes, 3, 4, 10 and 9 complete. Happy crafting.